Okay, so we are on the practice quiz from our little packet we had. And the quiz you're going to take today has 2 problems on it. And the 2 problems are exactly like the 2 here. So we actually have 2 practice quizzes here. Okay, so let's look at that first one. It's a circle. You did this yesterday. If you missed it yesterday, let's get it under control now. We're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to find the center and the radius. Okay? So here we go. What do we need to do first? We need to separate things, rearrange, so we have our x's together, leave a blank. Our y's together, leave another blank. And then we have our 10. Now, a couple of you missed this yesterday because the 10 was over here. Remember, you can't have anything over here but x's and y's. So with that number, if it had looked like this, for example, the first thing you would have to do is subtract that 10 to the other side. Right? Okay. All right, so now what do? We have our x's grouped and our y's grouped. So now what do? Take half of 2. And some of you are having trouble with that particular number. Half of 2 is 1, and 1 squared is 1. Not 2. 1 squared is 1. So we're going to put a 1 on both sides. Then we do the same thing here. Half of 4 is 2. Squared is 4. So we have x plus 1 squared. That's this, right? You got to write that as a quantity squared. And then we're going to write this as a quantity squared. And what is that? Y minus 2. Kids, see this sign right here? The sign between the x squared and the 2x? That's what goes here. The sign between the y squared and the 4y, that's what goes here. And then we just add it up and it's what, 15?
Yep.
So what's my center?
-1, 2.
-1, comma 2. And my radius is square root of 15. All right. Now let's go down to the second practice quiz and let's do that circle while we're in the groove. So the circle in the second quiz is this. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Right? Jordan, what are we going to do first?
Separate x and y's.
Yep, we're going to separate the x's and the y's. And put blanks in there. And like the last one, the 4 is already moved over. But remember, if that number isn't already moved, you need to move it. Okay, I'm pouring in. Yay! Okay. Now we're going to complete the square. So, what? Half of 6 is 3. Squared is 9. Make sure you add it to both sides. Half of 8 is 4. Squared is 16. Make sure you add it to both sides. Now let's get this right. This makes a quantity squared. X minus 3. Right, Magnus? Okay. This makes a quantity squared. Y plus 4. And that just gets added up. I'm going to let you use a calculator. So, oh my gosh, if you can't add 4, 9, and 16, put it in your calculator and you get 29. So where's our center? This is, a couple of you forgot to do this part on the quiz. This is what you're looking for. So the center is 3, -4.
And then square root of 29.
And the radius is the square root of 29. So you're gonna have a test question or quiz question that's just like this. 1, you're gonna find the center and the radius of a circle. Anybody have a question about this?
Nope.
So it's half squared?
Yep. in the blanks, it's half of this squared. Okay, so then the second question on your quiz is going to be a parabola. So let's go back to the top quiz and let's do that parabola, this one right here. And your job here, you have 4 questions to answer here. You need the vertex, focus, directrix, and focal width. And as we've talked the last 2 days, 2 of these you don't have to do anything for. 2 of them you can just fill in automatically. What are the 2 I can look at the equation and tell?
The vertex
and the focal width. The vertex is
2 and -3.
2, -3.
8.
And the focal width is 8. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if by chance that would be a negative, it can be negative, when you write your focal width, it's still positive. It's a width. How wide are you? So even if that said -8, your focal width would be 8. Okay? Now, the other 2 we have to work a little bit for. So my vertex you said was at 2, -3. There it is. Now here's the key. Which way does it open? Up. I know it's up because it's x squared and it's positive. That number is positive. So it opens up. That means that to get my focus, I'm going to go up. Okay? Now, I can tell you what that point is if I know how far up I have to go.
2.
I always go 1/4 of that number. That's how far you travel. 1/4 of that number. So what's 1/4 of 8? 2. So I'm going to start at this point right here, and I'm going to calmly and patiently figure out what that point is if I go up 2. I'm going straight up 2 units. So where am I going to be? 2, -1. So that is my focus. I'm going straight up 2 steps from my vertex. Now, if I went straight up 2 steps for my focus, I'm going to go down 2 steps for my directrix, but it is a line. Y equals -5. That's exactly right, James Wayne. Why is it Y equals? Because I'm crossing the Y-axis. Down 2 from -3 is -5. Jordan?
So if it's like y squared, then that's a positive. Is that left? Or
No, Y squared positive is right.
Okay.
Right and up are the positives. So that's my directrix, Y equals -5. Now, luckily, there's one more of those. So let's look at that one. Y plus 1 squared equals 4x minus 3. So vertex, focus, directrix, and focal width, and again, you're going to get, even if you have no idea what the heck we're talking about, you're going to get half this problem right. Because you better be able to tell me what the vertex is. 3, -1. Very good, Olivia Piper. If somebody said -1, 3, you're not paying attention. Because when you write an ordered pair, what has to come first? X. And the X is 3. So it's 3, -1. That's exactly right. What's my focal width? 4. Okay, so those are easy. Okay, so now here's my vertex. Now I gotta figure out which way I open. Right. And it's right. Correct? You're right. It's right. Because I'm X or Y squared positive. This number is positive. So Y squared, here we go. Now I know then that my focus has to be right here, somewhere in there. Remember, I'm not grading your picture. Your picture is not getting graded. But wait a minute. I know exactly what that point is if I know how far I have to go.
It's just one.
I'm gonna go 1/4 of this number,
Yep.
and 1/4 of 4 is 1. So I'm gonna start right here, and I'm gonna take 1 step to the right. So what am I? Where am I?
4 negative 1.
4 negative 1. So my focus is 4 negative 1. Because I took 1 step to the right. Now, if I went 1 step to the right for my focus, I'm going to go 1 to the left.
Yep.
And if you start right here and go 1 to the left, where are you going to be?
X equals 2.
X equals 2. And that's your directives. Easy peasy.
Let's do this.
Huh?
Let's do
Let's do it. That's right. Easy peasy. All right, let's put everything away. If you want to use a calculator, you can.